Hey there, guys. It's Mia here. I am so excited. I am so excited today about our guest. And I also know that you are going to be inspired, you're going to learn, and you're also going to understand the importance of showing up for yourself tall. My guest today is one of my favorite clients, and I will introduce her in a minute. She's awesome. And her story is a story that I know every single person can relate to. It is this idea of believing in yourself, stepping into it, standing in your value, and doing the work. And it's something that we completely value in our community. Welcome to another Results Incubator. For those of you who are new here, I am Mia Redrick, business and life consultant. And I started my company about 20 years ago, making simply the decision to go to work as myself, wanting to figure out for myself how can I take my background as a corporate trainer and my systems that I had in motherhood, and how could I package those and monetize those to build a business that would allow me to work from the comfort of my home or anywhere else. Fast forward, I've obviously done that, but also I wanted to take what I knew and transfer those step-by-step systems to other women. And today I've coached thousands of women literally all around the world and shown them also how they can, their own way, being authentic, build a business that's unrecognizable. And so I'm just going to jump right into our guest today is Chevelle Brown. She's amazing. And so Chevelle, I want to welcome you to the Results Incubator.
Yes, thank you so much. I'm glad to be here.
So tell the audience who you are, what you do, and who you serve.
So, my name is Chevelle Brown, and I am a city, state, and national award winning chess coach with multiple championships in elementary, middle, and high school divisions. I use the game of chess to train young minds to become critical thinkers, able to solve complex problems and make wise decisions. My students, they go on to win at chess and at life.
Awesome. I love it. Now, so so tell us, were you always a person that had this business as a chess coach, right? And leader? Is that how you started your business?
No, not at all. I actually started, learned to play when I was in high school, always loved the game. But when my son was born, I recognized the benefits of the game. So I started teaching him. And that really was where I got started, just coaching my own child in something that he and I both loved. And it just kind of turned into a business.
I love this because, a lot of times we never think that the thing that we love to do, the quality time you were spending with your son, would eventually be an amazing business for you. Now, I know that you not only help young people play the game of chess and win at the game of chess, but they really are winning. So tell us a little bit about the success that your coaching has provided, young people. What are some of the things that have happened as a result of what you do?
Well, there's so many different things, so many different angles, but primarily especially when I get them really young, kindergarten, first grade, one of the first, I know people are like, are you kidding? But yes, kindergarten, first grade, one of the very first things that they learn is confidence. And when you are learning to be confident, that goes a long way, not only in chess, but in everything that they do. They learn to think critically. They're not just jumping into things. They're saying, okay, this is a process. And if I do this, I can expect that. Again, another critical skill that they're going to need in life. So the things that they learn on the chessboard, they take it to the classroom. They take it to a courtroom. They take it even to their not their classroom, their courtroom, even ball fields. Chess undergirds any activity that a child decides that they want to do.
So I didn't realize that you were teaching young people as young as kindergarten, first grade, the game and the rules of playing chess. But what's the oldest demographic that you teach also, students?
Typically, I will teach regularly kindergarten through 12th grade, but I have adult seminars, workshops, things like that, doing professional development, because that's another aspect of the business. So, of course, I work with children, but I also use chess to relate different things. I'll be in a money camp at the end of this month teaching how chess relates to money. I teach how chess relates to business. So just all these different avenues where we can show how chess relates to just about everything in life.
So you and I had the opportunity to meet. I believe it was January of last year. Is that
Mhm.
correct?
Yes, when I came. Mhm.
Okay.
Wait, I'm sorry. Say your question again because I.
We met at the Giant Experience last year in January, I believe.
Right. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
So this is our second year.
That's exactly right. And so at that time, when you came to the Giant Experience, why did you make that decision to sign up for, an experience like that to package your knowledge when you are a chess coach? Like, what did you see?
What does one have to do with the other?
Yeah,
That I'm going to tell you because that part is amazing because I knew that what I was doing was important, and I knew that I did chess well, but I needed to know how to organize what I was doing, organize my processes so that it would make sense. Because what kept happening is people kept saying, "Hey, can you come to my school? Can you come to my school?" And I'm like, "Okay, what do I do?" And so I had opportunity to listen to your webinar, and that was it. I was drawn in. I had to figure it out. I had to figure it out because I was literally a mom and pop, and I was like, I got to do. I had to talk with my husband. It's like, look, this is what I need to do, and he was 100% supportive, and the rest is history.
So you came to the Giant Experience, and which primarily focuses on how to package your knowledge into
Yes.
a structure. And you are a chess coach, because I think a lot of people who are listening, who have ideas, they, maybe something similar to what you're doing, they may have never thought that they are a package. They may have never looked at their business that way, that the service that they're providing that way.
Mhm.
So now, as a direct result of you coming to the Giant Experience and learning how to package your knowledge, what are some things that you've done successfully over the course of this year? And only share what you're comfortable with. But I mean, you're so amazing, right? Like at your ability to build a business. What changed for you over the course of this year?
So before I met you, we had a mom and pop business. We were at five figures. It was just, a little bit of money. It was great, to supplement, to do the things that we were doing. And we were completely comfortable with that. But after you helped me change my model, let me tell you, that was everything. Changing the model, structuring, putting everything in a process, packaging, doing every single thing that you taught moved me into six figures immediately. Like within that, what I do is wrapped around a school year. So when we discovered this, it was the end of the school year. So going into that next school year, I was at six figures immediately. So, I don't know how to better express something. Who does that? Like with chess? No, and people always look at me like, you do what? No, no. So that what it let me know was that no matter what your gift is,
That's right.
it can be packaged. If you have the right person, if you have a mere rhetoric to help you package what it is that or you can make anything work. So
Well,
I'm a
you're creating
testimony.
incredible results also. So let me
Yes.
be clear that you're these I saw the trophies of these young people, and the trophies were bigger than in some cases the students,
Student.
and there were so many of them, and a lot of your students have benefited, obviously confidence, but a lot even bigger than that in
Way
terms of
bigger.
their academic success,
Mhm.
right? And obviously confidence and what the opportunities could look like for them in college and beyond
Mhm.
because of the foundation that you've established with them. So I think it's so cool that a lot of times people think that in order for them to take an idea that it has to take like 5 years or or more
Mhm.
for them to be able to realize their goal. Now let me ask you this question, because this is really important for people to understand. In order for you to create the success that you created, did you have to blog? Okay. Did
No.
you okay. Wait a minute. Did you have to have like, 10 funnels or 5 funnels or 3 funnels? Did you have to do that?
None of that.
Okay. Did you have to, do a new website, right? Did you
No.
have to? Okay. Because sometimes what people have been told, right, is just not how to do business properly. And so we focus on the busyness. You know how like building the brand and the idea of building this brand somehow is going to get you in, to hit six figures and beyond. And we focus on a more direct strategy, which is really understanding the value and the transformation that you bring to the table. and you were already bringing so much value and transformation to your audience. So when you understood that and started putting the parts together for yourself, like the packaging, the pricing, positioning, finding buyers, what was the most impactful insight that you could share with someone else out there that's wondering, like, will this work for me?
You know, probably I would say is understanding what my brand is and protecting my brand.
Yeah.
I didn't need to build it. It had that people already knew.
Yeah.
And most people that are in their businesses, when they're at the point that they're looking at coaching, they have a brand. And so the most important thing I needed to do was protect it. And the building I needed to do wasn't outside. I didn't need to do the website. I didn't need to blog. I didn't need to do any of that. I simply needed to get systems in place,
Yeah.
understand my packaging, how I needed to position myself in order to make these things happen. Those were the things that I needed to do, protect my brand so it would build itself. So no, none of those external things were necessary. It was the internal things that I learned with you that helped me to get to where I am.
So when we talk about protecting a brand, and we talk about this a lot inside the community, okay?
Mm-hmm.
And what we know is that when you create significant success, which is what you do, which is what what the clients do, the other giants do,
Mm-hmm.
that there are always going to be people who are going to covet what you do, copy
That's,
what you do, duplicate what you do, and that's not your problem. That's theirs, right?
that's
But
theirs.
there are some things that you can do. Obviously, in terms of making sure you've got the right registrations and trademarks
Right.
and copyrights, right? And that you
Right.
are getting advice from an attorney that's an
Right.
IP attorney, ideally, to support you. So, were
Mm-hmm.
you able to make connections like that as a result of what we talked about over the course of the year to support you in protecting your brand?
That was the huge part, making sure that those pieces were in place. Because as you said, there are people out there who want to do what I do, who have come to work for me and want to do what it is I do and how I do it, but they can't because I protected those things. And again, I built my brand and it's mine. And there's I have no competition.
That's
I have
correct.
no competition, no matter who they are and what they do. They are not my competition. So I make sure that I have my paperwork in order, because I will tell you that was a really great community piece where we talked about having your paperwork in order,
Yeah.
listening to stars over the
Yeah.
years talk
That's
about what happened, Steve Harvey,
yes.
about not having your paperwork in order. That was it was huge. That part right there, that is how you protect what it is that you're doing. You're not worried about other people, except when they try to violate your proprietary things, which
That's
is
correct.
those were the dots you helped us connect.
That's
So
correct.
not only do the work, but make sure you protect the work that you do.
And I think it's also really important to understand what your options are around that.
Yes.
If in fact, whether it's going to your attorney and doing whatever you need to do, or whether it's reaching out to the FBI because you need to make a report because of the way
Yes.
things were acquired. And a lot of times people don't understand those things. That is the one of the most important business building blocks of running a successful company. So you can focus on what matters the most.
Yes.
Now, let's talk about profit. And you've already mentioned that, you hit six figures and beyond. That's great. What what did you do, okay, as it relates to profit, where you defied what you believe was possible? Like, I don't remember what your goal was when we started working together, right? But were you thinking, like, in 1 year, how like sometimes clients say, like, in 1 year I want to make $50,000 or something like that, and then they exceed that, or I want to charge, $5,000 for my product. What were you charging, let's say, before we started working together? And then what was a package that you built that later on that really supported you? And you don't have to say your specific numbers, but you and like I went from a 4 figure to 5 figure or whatever it is for you. So what allowed you to be able to do that? Because I think that so many great people are selling and undervaluing what they do. And they might be selling, I see it all the time. I have clients who are selling what they do hourly for $200 an hour or less, right?
Mhm.
And for professional services. And it's just because they don't understand how to value what they do. So talk to us a little bit about your journey there.
So there were a lot of things. Probably one of the most important parts for me was the changing of the model of how I did business.
Yeah, yeah.
You have to ask the right person for the money.
Yes,
You know,
that's correct.
you've got to ask the right person. You ask the tallest person in the room for the money. So, and that was the biggest problem. My money was very inconsistent. It would consistently be five figures, but we don't know what area of the five figures because I was asking the wrong person
Yes.
for the money.
Yes.
And that part right there, just knowing that changed everything. So that's why it was so easy to go from five, we don't, and I mean like mid five, I don't even mean high five, I mean mid five. We don't know if it's going to happen, maybe, which is why that money was never depended on because we just
Yes.
didn't know. To
Yes.
go from that and in a few months time, like maybe 9 months or so, to see a solid six figures. I mean solid, not we're guessing it might be six, no, solid. It was just I could not believe. I mean, I knew it was possible because I'm doing the numbers, which that was another thing that I love about our time together is you have us touch the numbers right then.
That's
Everybody
correct.
pull out your calculators, just touch these numbers because that's part of really making it click in your head that it's possible because you're doing you're right there. You're telling us, come on, let's get this calculator out. Because when you start seeing it, you can start believing it and you
Yeah.
see it happen. It was just so amazing.
So you amazed yourself, right? Like
I did.
literally, because I'm listening to you, and I know that everyone that's watching this and those who will watch the replay, they can feel your enthusiasm, and then it's encouraging because I think a lot of times when we hear that someone's built a business, they've hit six figures within a few months, like 9 months, and that they think it has to be hard. They think maybe it's not possible. And there've been a lot of messages out there. A lot of people make promises like, I'll help you do this and that, and it never happens. But you witness for yourself inside of our community giants, women
Yes.
who really do show up for themselves, and they are great examples for one another of doing, standing in their value and asking for the sale. Sometimes
Yes.
most of our clients have never, most of my clients have never sold anything before they start working with me, and they learn authentically, right, based on who they are, how to make an offer, right, like literally, because there isn't just one way, there isn't just one script to read or just one call to listen to, and that's the answer. It's different for all of us to know how we can authentically sell and add value to that process. So in terms of your sales process, you obviously had already been selling, right, prior to us meeting.
Yes.
So when you learned the way that I teach you guys how to sell, was there any difference for you? Was there any value in that? Or what did you learn from that? Or if not, there was anything different, then just say that too. So what would you say about the sales process that changed for you?
There was, it was so much because, talking to an individual person about, hey, can your child be a part of my program for this amount of money per month over the school years? And talking to a CEO who has multiple districts
Yeah.
about what I bring to the table, completely different in how I approach and what it is that I'm looking for, because I understand what the benefits are of chess. I understand them very clearly.
Yeah.
And most CEOs that I speak to, they know the value of chess too.
Yeah.
But I remind them, I bring up the statistics, I show them the science, the research, everything that has to do with it, I give them all. And I leave it there for them to think about.
Yeah.
And the funny part is that, I don't have to, I don't really have to ask. They're going to ask me.
So I love this part, okay? Because I actually believe that in selling is not about forcing someone. It is not about convincing anyone,
That's right.
right? It
That's right.
literally is about really demonstrating the value and transformation you provide
Yeah.
clearly, such that the ideal client says, I want the results that you can create,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And they ask you, how can we work together, correct?
Yes. They
Right?
do. You did that. You did that, Mia. You did that. I'm telling you, that is exactly how it happens. I don't have to ask them. I simply present to them what transformation I provide.
Yeah.
They see the pictures, they see the news articles, they see everything. And I don't have to say a word. They ask me, so what can I do to get you over here at my school. What, that is how it is now. I no longer have to sell. I don't have to do any of that. They come to me now, and I love it.
So they come to you because you create results.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and you are clear about the results that you create, and that
Mm-hmm.
is your differential. And
It is.
I love this because when you do create results, right? That's what we're doing, results incubator, that competition is irrelevant, because at the end of the day, you're not competing based on price with
Right.
anyone.
With anyone.
Okay. You're not competing based on ability and skill. You have an ability to create results for others. And the people who want to work with you are attracted to you because of the kind of results that you're able to deliver over and over again. Anyone can sell a product, anyone can say, I do this. But
Yes.
there are very few people who can demonstrate that they have an ability to create the results for the things that they offer. And that is what you do. And when you when you are in demand, as you said, like they all want you over there, like they all
Mhm.
want you at their school, you can command the price, right?
Yes.
And the opportunities, because they are coming to you over and over again. You can be selective, you can work with the best clients. I want to speak to your process a little bit around the models that I teach are all around building a business that is time rich. Okay.
Mhm.
And so a lot of times the people who are watching may or may not know what time rich is, right? So I want to explain for a second. Most people are used to running a business and trading time for dollars, or even working, right? Like you work an hour, you get paid for the hour you work, or better yet, your salary, you get paid for 40 hours and you put in 70 hours, right?
Mhm.
But I teach you guys how to build a business that is time rich, where we're not trading time for dollars.
Right.
So, how have you been able to, in your business, put that into practice, right? Like to make that work for you, or have you been able to do that?
Oh, yes, I have. The only time that I go in at this point is when it's something new. I always like to go in with schools because I develop relationships with them. One of the things that is very true is that I get to choose who I want to work with.
Yes.
So I go in, try to understand the culture. So when I put one of my vendors in that school,
Yeah.
or my contractors, when I put them in the schools, they understand and I understand what that school's culture is.
Yeah.
And so we try to make shifts based on what we're there for, because that's part of what they want us to do is to come in and help change culture. They
Yeah.
want to see children sitting in the hallways playing chess. That's what they want to see, you
Yeah.
know. And that's what we provide. So, I take my time in a new school and I kind of look and see what's going on, and then that's it. But time rich, although I love what I do, I love it and I could do it all day. The best part is I don't have to. I can do it if I want to do it, and I'm available to go here and there as I please. If we're gonna, as a matter of fact, the end of the month we'll be gone for a few weeks. Trying to do what we do because we have a time-rich business. We can do these things.
So you have a business that is not based on your ability to perform. You don't have to
I
be
don't
there.
have.
You can step away from your business. You have a
Mhm.
company, right, that has systems
Yes.
that are able to work without you having to be the person to deliver all the services. And I
Right.
think that's really important because we have a lot of people who watch the Result Incubator who are self-employed or they're business owners, and they don't have a time rich model. They don't understand what time freedom is and how it could really benefit them, tremendously in their business. I was just talking to one of my clients the other day who was a therapist who we started working together in August of last year. She's a private consulting client and literally went from 60 people in the practice that she was talking to individually as therapists do. And now she's down to under 12 individuals in her practice that she speaks to directly and has built a time rich element with licensing. And I think it's so powerful to know that no matter what you do, it is possible to restructure that model, to build a business that's amazingly profitable, and to be able to work from the comfort of your home or anywhere that you choose. And I love that you guys are incorporating lifestyle. What's your advice for someone out there who is thinking about, they're thinking about trusting themselves enough, right, to learn how to package their knowledge, but maybe they are afraid of getting started, because sometimes if you've already done something and you've been successful 10, 20, 30 years, starting something new and maybe you don't know if you'll be successful or not creates some fear. Or maybe it's just that they're wondering, like, I'm already working, like 40 hours a week. And if I start this business, how am I going to make room to do this? Right? How were you able to make room to do this? I mean, did you have to put in another 40 hours a week to build a business? Were you killing yourself, right, to do this? Or was this more like a transition for yourself? Or how many hours a week did you have to put in place in order for you to create this transition in your business?
So I didn't have to do as much because there was some flexibility there, but the starting the training was the thing that freed me the most. There's an initial weekend or week that you have to put in that study and understand, but it's so quick. You can so quickly put things in place to get you where you need to go. I tell people all the time, I feel like I paid for the shortcut, because when when you when you're starting a business, it can be overwhelming.
Yeah.
And what happens is that we'll get started in a business without any help, with no coach, with no one to help you. Why would you do that? Why would you do that? Let someone who knows, who's proven. Now that's important. That's the other part. You can't just choose anybody. For me, the things that you provided for me, which were important, was proof that you could do what it is that you said you could do. That was everything to me. And it wasn't proof that you could just make it happen for you. But
Correct.
all of these other people who were saying, yes, it happened. And it made sense. Everything you were saying made sense. But all of the other people, everybody couldn't be lying. It's just too many people. So to me, it was clear that you could do it. But I knew that I had to put in the work.
Yeah.
And that was important. So that small sacrifice was great. There are a lot of people who turned their business over in a couple weeks time, or before the experience could close, that whole thing. It took me longer, but I would say this: most businesses, they take about 2 years before they start showing profits. 2 years. I went from 5 to 6 figures in 9 months. What? So for me, and for most people, they get those types of results because somebody walking with them, holding their hand, telling them exactly what to do. So to me, you either pay for the experience now, or pay for the experience later. Because I just don't. Why go through the heartbreak? Why not just get somebody who already knows, so you can skip over certain things? I wish I had known earlier, is all I can tell you.
So, but doesn't it, it's one of those things. I'm sure there's someone listening to you right now that's like, okay, yeah, okay, okay, but is that real, right? And I think one of the greatest things that we have in our community is the community, right?
Is the community.
And I always ask on the Results Incubator, like, who's the one person that inspired you? Like, was there a person in the community that when you met them, right, that there was something about them that inspired you? Or was there another giant that their story you connected with, right? Like, because I think that also is the thread that's really helpful. I was doing this a Results Incubator recently, and someone mentioned you. I mean, they always mention, there's always someone that's an inspiration, because the people who are part of your cohort knew for 9 months that you were working it, right? And you hadn't yet closed, but you were working it. Mm-hmm. And then they watched, boom, bam, right? Like what you were able to create. And they watched you on your journey. And so it inspired them that it was possible. Like, who was that for you? Or maybe it was like a peer that was your accountability partner, or someone that shared something with you that was impactful.
So let me tell you, there are a lot of giants who, story after story. It's just like, I'm like happy every moment. It's just like, they're all amazing. But I would say, if I had to say one person in particular who was very encouraging and very helpful in this journey with me, is Deborah Porter.
Yes.
She just is, and I have a huge, amazing giants everywhere.
Yes.
But Deborah, she was the person who spoke with me.
Yes.
Who helped me to understand why this was going to work for me.
Yes.
When I was struggling on how I was going to do it, she's the person that got you on the phone.
Yes.
as I've been going through, asking different questions, she's just been there. She's just been supportive. And I just tell you, she has been an amazing giant sister. She really
Yeah.
has been. So I would say Deborah Porter.
So I love that because Deb enrolled you in the Giant Experience
Hmm.
Master Training.
Hmm.
And she's an incredible giant, right? One of the
Yes.
certification coaches.
Yes.
She's awesome. And I think that is so important to have those other people in the community that you can build a relationship with and know whether or not it's real or not.
Hmm.
And which I think is important. And then if it's okay, and you could say, I don't want to talk about this, but it sounded like when you said whether or not you could do it or not, you were wondering whether or not like making that investment, right? Like,
Yes.
right.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
okay, so and yet you found the money, right?
Found it.
Okay.
I found it.
Okay.
I had to work it out. I had to work it out. I had to work it out. And it just came to, because I wanted it so much. And when we do things in our home, when we go above a certain amount, we have a conversation first before
Yeah.
we move forward. So the question was, okay, so if you really, if you really want, if you feel like this is going to change things for you, then go ahead.
Yeah.
It'll be okay. We'll figure it out.
Yeah.
So went ahead, and I mean, because we had the conversation. I just didn't know. I was like, should I? But it just made too much sense. It
Yeah.
just, the writing was on the wall.
Yeah.
It was right
So,
there.
so I think this is so good because Felicia just writes, yeah, I need to work it out. Okay. Now
Work it
here
out,
it is.
Felicia.
Okay. You have to work it out. Right. So
Work it
you're like,
out.
and there are a lot of people who are there, right? Like, I need to work it out. And they
Work it
never
out.
do. Okay. But you worked it out. And
Work
then
it out.
approximately, I think 9 months later,
Mhm.
you hit six figures. Right. So you came to the Giant Experience Master Training, then you invested in coaching with me beyond that over the
I
course
sure
of a
did.
month. And do you regret figuring it out? Okay. Would you have figured it out? The question is really, would you have figured it out had you not made that investment? And
Oh no,
I'm saying
I
be honest about this.
I can tell you for sure, had I not made the investment, I would still be where I was.
Yeah.
I would still be. I would have. I probably would have. Well, because in a sense, there were certain things that I knew, but I would not be at six figures. Not the kind of six figures I'm at. No, it wouldn't be. For sure. At some point, you have to make an investment. We have no problem making investments in other things that we want. And I'm going to even go as far as to say college education. I promise you, the college education I have has not done as well as the money I've invested in the Giant Circle and in my training with you over these last 2 years. I promise you that.
It hasn't even been 2 years yet because you signed up in January. You started consulting with me in February. So we're like a year and a half.
A year and a half. I can tell you for sure, for sure that this investment in myself has been the greatest investment I've had as it relates to monetary things. It just has. It did exactly what it set out to do.
So
And
we talk a lot about standing in your value, right? And having a mindset, right? Shifting your mindset. Would you say for you that you had any shift in your mindset as a result of being around the other giants and what we're learning together?
Absolutely. Seeing so many people in the same place, but in different stations in life, I think that's the part. So I'm in a room where we have stay-at-home moms, but we have medical doctors. We're all in the same circle trying to do the same thing.
Yes.
That part, I don't think people expect that kind of diversity in the room.
Yes.
That right there, I mean, and everyone's trying to go to that same place in whatever circle they're in.
Yeah.
And to see that the stay-at-home mom can get the exact same results as the MD is incredible. It just lets you know if you have the right information, the right information makes all the difference in the world. And I let my son know that today he's a business major, and well, not today, but in his freshman year, so he's a junior now. He asked me, "Hey, Mom, do you think business is the right decision in terms of his degree?" I said, "Well, it's not the wrong one." I said, "Because if you have the right coaching in place, you can make anything a business. Who makes playing chess a business? Come on." And I'm showing him the checks. I'm showing him the checks because you know how it is. We have son the same age.
Yes.
Showing them the check is the reality of it. And he's like, "Are you kidding me?" No, I'm not kidding. You see the checks. They come in every month, son, every month. you know? So this is it. This is
Yeah.
it.
So I love what you're saying there, and I agree with you that it's beautiful the diversity of what people do in the community and their backgrounds, and also the fact that the advice is really not about a module. It's not about a training. It literally is like consulting individuals based on what they
They
do,
mm-hmm.
right? And showing them the most profitable paths and
Yes.
options of what it could look like, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the culture that we have. And that's one of the things that I love about being on those coaching calls, right? Because you learn so much. Like you might learn, you may have come to learn what you want to do, but you may learn what the way that I'm coaching someone else around licensing or whatever it is. And because of it, the light bulbs go off for
Yep.
you, right? Because you're able to transfer that. Um, you want to speak to that a little bit? Because I think sometimes what's in the marketplace today is that people think it's just all about like a training. You know how like it's one way to do something. Okay, it's one course, it's one method, say it exactly this way, but it's not
It's not.
really that way
Exactly.
in our community. So if you could speak to that.
Yeah, that's absolutely right. One of the things that probably one of the things I figured out right away was that this is my favorite thing that you say. So I'm talking to Chevelle, but I'm talking to everyone.
Yeah.
That's one of my favorite because it's so true. What happens is the information that you give, it may not be to me specifically, but will apply to me. And
Yes.
I would tell you, I would get so much information. I mean, I'd have my journal just full of tips you've given other people that, oh, I could use this in this area. And
Yeah.
just a whole thing of ideas that I'm still trying to get through. The information, that's the other thing I realized. I'm never going to exhaust you. It's not going to happen. And I see that. It took me a minute. I was like, yeah, that's not going to happen. So it's like, it just, that part, just knowing that no matter what question it is that I have, you're going to be able to answer the question and point me in the right direction. And you do that for me consistently, and you do it for everyone on the call consistently. And not everything applies to me, but most everything does. And like I said, that would just, I love it when you say that. Okay, but I'm really talking to everybody because these are things that we all need. It's all
Yeah.
part of the package, learning what it is we need to do to get to the next space we're trying to be in.
Yes. I love that you're saying that. Felicia says she's on fire.
Come on, Felicia. Come on.
And then Shannon says, beautifully inspiring to hear your journey. Thank you for sharing. I'll just share that real quick. But how cool is that? And I think it's important that we have these conversations. If you guys are listening and you have a question, and for us live, we're here live, we would love to answer any question that you have that's pertinent to mindset or how you can get started in your own business and trust yourself more. So how much would you say was what was the biggest factor? Like, were you a reader? Did you read the books that I recommend, or were you more like some people don't do that, like they just listen to the calls, they'll listen to some of the training, the audio trainings, and they'll say, okay, this is my route. What was it for you, or did you not need that?
It was a combination of several things. Let me tell you what to say when you talk to yourself. Yes, Think and Grow Rich.
Yes.
And it's funny because every time you read it differently. There's something like, oh my goodness, there's another thing. So the reading, really everything that you've put out there, I've taken at least a little bit of it so I can know videos from years and years ago, like years ago when you were talking, your hair was straight and long. I was just like, look at me. And here's the thing. Why is that information still relevant today, though?
Yes.
That's the part. And I don't know that that people always understand
Yes.
that value, that piece.
Yeah.
I can literally go through catalogs and find information about something that you taught years ago, and that information is still
Yes.
relevant. It is still the same. Nothing's changed. And I love that. I
Yes.
love that. It's everything it's worth every penny is all I can really say. Out of the investments that I've made, this has been the best investment, and this has yielded the best results, the most results, the things that have been life changing. To go from money that's support money to legacy money, it's very different.
Yeah.
Is
That's
that
right.
and that's the part, that you mean that's all it cost me
Yeah.
to earn legacy money?
Mm-hmm.
Legacy money.
Mm-hmm.
This is changing life money. This is, creating generational wealth kind of money. This
Yeah.
is not just,
Yeah.
the little stuff. And
Yeah.
that's that part right there, Mia, that you're never going to know the changes you've made in my life and the changes that are being made in my family's life as a result of this training and understanding how to package, how to price. This is how to position. It has made all the difference in the world. I'm so hope that those that are listening will take an opportunity and see this as the opportunity it really is, and make the investment in themselves, because we invest in so many things. Invest in self. I mean, and it's directly because this is for me. This investment was for me,
Yeah.
and what I've learned, no one can take that. It's
Yeah.
mine. It's my education, and I mean, I am so proud of it, and I see it working every day. I love it. I love it. I love being able to go out and do what I really love, which is just teach children chess. That's
Yeah.
what I love, and knowing that, wow, you know what, this is a business that you can pass on if you want. And my son interned with me this summer.
So I
He
love that.
he, he interned with me this summer. He still is, but he's been interning with me this summer, so he could see exactly what we're doing and
Yes.
how it works. Um, that part right there, those are the things that the investment has done for me. Not just the money,
Yeah.
but everything that money is going to create.
Yeah.
The way it's going to change my son's life, or my family, our whole family, the way it's changing our life. It's amazing.
Yeah. So I love this too, because I think that when and this is what we do, you do, I do on the Giants, what we do in the community, we are authentic and we
Mhm.
teach things that we know that work.
That work.
And because we do that, it is timeless. So we don't need to change what we do, or, you don't need that. You don't need the next thing, shiny object. You only need
Mm.
that when
Mhm,
what
mhm.
you do isn't authentic and true to the results you can create. So whether we're talking about something related to family and those principles to be able to show up for yourself more powerfully there by, taking care of yourself, those are timeless. Okay.
Yes.
And those are things that work no matter what. And that's a really important component of, obviously of my coaching, is that, as women, we have to make sure we show up for ourselves in order for us to really be able to show up for anyone. And that is, a lot of times we think about self-care just in terms of like day spas and things like that. But it really
Sure.
is owning that purpose and calling that's on your life also, and being committed to invest in yourself at the highest level, because we do it for others without question. And
Mhm.
we have a lot of content around that. That's timeless. Like understanding that. And to me, having a great family and having a great life is very important. The whole premise in the coaching is building the business around the life you want, right? Because we have all lived the other way, which is, trying to squeeze your life into whatever you're doing to generate income. And for most
Mhm.
people, they learned during the pandemic, I want more than that. And so, just showing women how to renegotiate the way they earn, and with the value that they already provide. And then just the idea of understanding that the process of growth is exactly that. And I think that the content is timeless, because you're watching me grow over the last 20 years, because this is like, there's so hundreds of videos, right? So you're
Yes.
watching my growth, so it's real. You again, you've seen like 30 hairdos, right? Like, and you saw me 45 pounds lighter, right? And we're full of cheeks. But the fact of the matter, what you also see is that through it all, I'm doing the same thing.
Yes. thing.
I'm doing the same thing. I'm building that business, and I'm taking what I'm learning over the years and just showing my clients what that evolution has looked like. What I love also is that something you had mentioned earlier, which is like proof. And the reason that you do exceptionally well is because you can demonstrate the proof of what it is that you can do for your clients. And I think that's really important when people are selecting coaches and mentors
Mhm.
specifically today. Anybody can put up a website, anybody can, dub some testimonials, right? Like, and pretend that I got to grab my cord is about to, my computer's trying to uncharge. 1 second. But anyone can say that they're doing anything. But the fact of the
And
matter is that proof should be old proof, because if you've been doing something for a long time, there's a history of your
mhm,
success.
mhm, mhm,
And the proof should be diverse. Okay.
mhm,
And it should be old and new, right? New
mhm.
proof. Because if what you do works, then it not only worked in the past, which would be the older testimonials, but it would also show and demonstrate that it still works today. And I think it's really important. It's one thing for me to create success for myself and be able to say it. It's one thing for you to say, hey, I play chess amazingly. It's another thing to have all of these little people with their tablets winning championships all around the country, right? Because your process absolutely works, which puts you in a really different position than so many. Other people say, anybody could say, I can teach you how to play chess. Can you teach these kids how to win the game of life? Right.
There it is.
And otherwise, right.
There it
And
is.
that's what you do.
Mhm.
What did I not ask you that you think I needed to ask you, and I didn't ask you, and you want to share?
I don't know. Yeah, I will say one comment that you said a little earlier about the self-care piece. Let me tell you, that self-care, it looks a lot of different ways. And
Yes.
because I was an esthetician and I still keep my license, I've done a lot of spying, a lot of spy, a lot of spy. But the most important self-care item I have ever done is making my investment here. That kind of
Mm.
self-care allows me to be able to spy all over the world.
You made me laugh out loud. Okay.
It's like I can self-care everywhere now.
Yeah.
It's like, this I just really feel like, for the ladies that are listening, gosh, um, pull it together, do what's necessary. This is the self-care. You may have to postpone that trip to wherever, whatever it is, because I'll say this. So of course the pandemic has, pulled things back, but this investment has allowed me, because of this investment in this past year, where my business is taking me to Dubai, Antigua. Um, I did a little trip to New York for Hamilton. I had never seen it, wanted to see that. We'll be in the south of France at the end of the month, and I got a surprise trip in December, Jamaica. So, but just know that this did that. Just know that. I'm just saying this investment made all of this other self-care possible. So, I mean, I don't know what you're waiting on, ladies. You just make your investment. You're not going to be sorry. You're not going to be sorry. Just know that because most are already in business, or you're already thinking about business, and you've made a mistake after mistake just count up the money in terms of how many mistakes that you've made and
Yeah.
what you've lost. Count that money up. Just imagine if you took that money and invested it so you could skip over those mistakes. And so
Yeah.
that's what I meant by, paying for the shortcut. You could avoid a lot of errors, a lot of mistakes, just simply by, and not only avoid mistakes, but have other information available to you so
Yes.
that you can get to the next level. Because sometimes it's not mistakes that hold you back. You just don't know what to do next.
Yeah.
And that's what she's here for. She showed me what to do next, and that made all of the difference in the world. I just can't, I really just can't talk about it enough. The giant experience. I was saying at another time, the giant experience is something that you need to invest in and have that experience, and then come experience being a giant with the rest of us, because we want you, Felicia, and everybody that's out there. We want you in a circle. Come on.
Yeah. It's so funny because it's so true. I can listen to you all day because one, you're authentic and you speak from your heart. And I agree, there's plenty of room. A lot of times people think like it's just a limited space. No, there is room for you. There's
Mhm.
room for your ideas, right? There's room for you to elevate. There's room for you to network with people your own ambition level and above. Sometimes,
Mhm.
as Dr. Lisa was saying recently, she was like, she says, like, look, Mia, the community is all unicorns. We all do something like really unique and different. And and it's so true. And maybe you've been looking for your people and you haven't been able to find people who are speaking your language. We were on a call recently, and one of the clients said, she said, if I'm not here, I don't know who else I share all of this great stuff with, because of what's happening in her life and her world, over and over again. We were on a call just this past Tuesday. You'll have to listen to the replay. And one of the clients shared that she's not sure what part of this deal she's getting, but it'll either be $500,000 up to $9 million, depending on her part of the contract. Amazing. Took her 8 months before she even did anything, but where she has landed has been incredible. Again, same call. We had another client who has closed for the very first time, her first six-figure deal. You'll hear it for yourself. I would say Dr. C. So amazing, amazing.
Amazing.
But it's not just that call. It's over and over and
And
over,
over again.
and it's growth, and it's watching people step into their next level and their value and their belief system growing. And then you realize, man, there's like a layer of dollars around me that I I did not see, that was always there and available. But when we get congruent, when we are aligned, when we take those bold actions, when we are accountable, to those actions, right? Because we're in
Mhm.
a community that requires it, we change. And I'm so excited that we had an opportunity to chat here today. I just love you. I'm so proud of you. So if there's someone out there listening that wants to reach out to you, whether it's an interview or whether they want to hire you as a consultant for their school's program, or make a referral to a CEO in a school district, how can they reach you?
So you can email me, cbrown at iteachchess.com. C Brown, like the color, at iteachchess.com. And you could just any of that. You could, if you just want to chat, that's fine. Email me, I'll call you. We'll chat. Any questions or anything like that at all. Mia, you just reached right back again in terms of uh, everyone that's in the room, everyone elevates there. Everyone does. And that's another part of the community that I love the most, is because everyone is there to do that. And we're all supporting one another to move to the next level. That's what we're there for. And it doesn't matter what your idea, that's the other part. Well, I knew that once my idea went, crazy. No matter what your idea is, you may think, oh, I don't know who's gonna do this for me, believe me, there's someone out there. You just got to know how to do certain things. And that was the training that I received, and it just went crazy, and I'm just excited about it. I'm glad it's the best investment I've made ever. So
Well, you made my day. If we can support you in some way, feel free to reach out. MiaRedrick.com is my email. You'll be able to find my free webinars there on that page. And also the Giant Experience Master Training is a great first step if you're ready to package your knowledge into a high ticket product on or offline, even if you don't already have a product, because
right.
you are the product. I appreciate you for being here today. And again, look forward to watching this again on Monday. This coming Monday, we're going to host a replay. I'll talk to you soon, and have an amazing day. Thank you.